Hello my loves, Tony here from TL Yarn Crafts and welcome back to my channel. So earlier this month, my mom and I went back to my old stomping grounds, Columbus, Ohio to do some yarny things. So of course we had to stop at JOANN. Now this isn't just any JOANN store. This is one of those really nice remodeled ones with that giant epic yarn wall. Now when we went, they had a pretty nice clearance and sale situation happening. So you know we had to dive in, and I got a bunch of new to me yarns that I'm super excited to share with you today. Now for each of these yarns, I'm gonna give you my initial reaction, likes and dislikes, and then rate each of the yarns 1 out of 10 hooks. And if that sounds like a good time, make sure you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel. Now before we can touch even a ball of yarn, we have to give some love to our Cup of Caffeine sponsor. I was up until 3 a.m. working on my sweater for the Beyonce concert, and thankfully I can say it was time well spent, though the coffee is definitely working overtime today. So today's Cup of Caffeine sponsor is named Sandy, and when donating, Sandy said, "Thank you for your passion and beautiful delivery of your designs. You've encouraged me to go beyond hats and bags. I look forward to following your blog. Warmest regards, Sandy." Well, thank you so much, Sandy. I am really excited to hear about all of the new projects you have coming up. The sky is the limit. Now, if you enjoy my channel and want to support, buy me a coffee. Who knows, I might shout you out in my next video. Now let's talk yarn. Kicking off our review is Forever Fleece from Bernat. It's a category 6 super bulky weight yarn made from 100% polyester fiber. You get a whopping 194 yards per 280 gram skein. And these are some pretty chunky skeins. The strand itself is made up of 4 individual strands and looks a lot like felted wool. The feel is incredible. It's super soft, and online reviews say it gets even softer with washing. P.S. This yarn is machine washable and dryable. Now, depending on where you buy your Forever Fleece, it ranges in price from $11.99 to $12.50. Now, I was able to find 2 packs of this yarn on Walmart.com for $10.48, which is a phenomenal deal. The skeins that I have came from JOANN and were on clearance for $8.47 each. Pop over there quick if you're interested in trying this yarn. Now, the first thing I noticed about this yarn once I started stitching with it is that the colorful skein has a lot more tonality in the stitches than it seems to have while in the skein. In the skein, it looks like just 2 colors, but as I stitched a bit more, I found purple, gold, and this salmon pink. I wasn't really vibing with all of that, and I kind of wish they would have kept it to just 2 cohesive colors. The length of the individual colors was very short, and it kind of felt like I was jumping from color to color without letting any of them shine. I also wasn't a fan of the lack of stitch definition here. A fuzzy yarn like this is bound to produce a hazy fabric, but this just felt kind of muddy and unintentional. For future projects, I would definitely stick to simpler stitches to keep the highlight on the yarn. Or I would consider going the complete opposite direction and infuse some major texture into my projects. Think popcorns and post stitches. Well, now I'm giving myself ideas. Let me get back on topic. Listen, I don't hate everything about this yarn. Once I got deeper into the swatch, the colors really started to grow on me. I could envision a spotted and speckly throw blanket, pillow, or even a chunky sweater. While it's not my personal taste, I know that my 8-year-old niece would probably love it, so that's why I'm giving Forever Fleece a respectable 6 out of 10 hooks. It's a decent wool alternative, and it is crazy soft. If you can find it for a decent price, buy a bunch and hold on to it for gifts. Personally, I'd make my Let's Stay Home blanket from Forever Fleece. There's a great color selection on Walmart.com, so you can have a lot of fun building color palettes. Next up is K+C Essential, which is 100% cotton. This category 3 DK weight yarn is smooth to the touch with 180 yards per 100 gram skein. This yarn wasn't on clearance during our visit, but it was on sale. Buy one, get one half off. At $5.49 a skein, that's a pretty decent deal. The real draw of this yarn for me was the colors. K+C Essentials is offered in 29 colors, including refreshing solids, interesting ombres, stunning stripes, and vibrant variegated shades. The solids mix and match with the more colorful yarns incredibly well, allowing you to create faded color palettes with ease. As a brand, K+C is exclusive to JOANN, and they rotate their yarns on offer every season. If you're interested in essentials, do not wait to pick it up. Stores are going to be cycling in their fall stock before you know it, and essentials will likely be long gone. K+C Essential is just what the name says, an essential cotton yarn. It's one of those soft and smooth cottons, not like that rough and scratchy kitchen cotton. This cotton begs to become a summer top, a breezy shawl, or even kitchen accessories. The 3-ply strand and medium twist flow effortlessly over my hook, and the yarn has a cooling effect due to the full cotton fiber content. My favorite feature of this yarn has to be the weight. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like DK weight is the maximum weight that any cotton yarn should be. Once you get into your worsteds and especially bulky, the physical weight of cotton starts to take over and make projects impractical. DK weight is so versatile and balances out the natural heft that cotton has. Now back to Essentials. I have to say I absolutely loved working with this yarn. You know exactly what to expect from a yarn like this, and it delivers in every single stitch. I had no issues with splitting like I've experienced with other cotton yarns, and this was especially helpful since I was trying a new to me stitch. This is called the Stacked Trinity stitch. I'm not sure if I was doing it right, but it turned out pretty great in this swatch. Cluster stitches like this pair well with smooth yarns. The stitch definition is out of this world, and I didn't have any problem stitching into the clusters or the chains. The folks at K+C knew what they were doing when they made Essentials. It is terribly difficult to find a soft and smooth cotton in great colors for a decent price at big box stores. Yarns like these are a dime a dozen online, but that doesn't help you at all if you prefer the feel of a yarn before purchase. I'm going to give K+C Essentials 10 out of 10 hooks. From the label to the fiber, the weight, the ease of use, this yarn is just perfect in my book. Grab a few skeins and make my charming trio, which is now offered in a downloadable PDF as well as a free tutorial video. Find links to this project and the yarn to make it down in the description. So, Karen's Ogo format was retired this year, and to me it sounds like their customers saw straight through that gimmick. Now they're releasing the Ogo yarns in a cake. Thus we have Colorama Halo. This chunky cake offers a Category 5 bulky weight acrylic, nylon, and polyester blend that's soft to the touch with a noticeable fiber halo. You get 481 yards per 227 gram skein, and you get to choose from 19 different colorways at $11.99 each. You can find Colorama Halo at JOANN and Michaels, but it looks like Yarnspirations doesn't even carry it on their site anymore, and that's a pretty big indication that they're phasing out this yarn, so snag some right now if you want to try it. My first impression of this yarn is, yay, another oversized cake yarn. I don't know about y'all, but this trend brings out my inner Grinch every time. The whole cake yarn thing feels a bit played to me, considering that the new cake yarns that are coming onto the market aren't offering anything special or interesting. Colorama Halo's claim to fame is perfect phasing, meaning the yarn seamlessly transitions from one color to the next, and looking at the cake, it definitely does that. But I'm not over the moon about a company finally listening to what we've been saying since these yarns started hitting the market. Now, putting my personal grievances aside, Colorama Halo isn't all that bad. It offers a range of colorways with thoughtful ombre transitions that could work in lots of different projects. It's also helpful to note that this yarn is machine washable and dryable. Now, for my sample, I went with my comfort motif, that is the granny square. If I can't love a yarn in a granny square, it's just not gonna happen. This yarn does move pretty well. It doesn't stick to itself, making for smooth stitching, and the halo over this mauvey pink yarn does add a touch of affordable luxury to the entire look. There's a severe lack of stitch definition, so I wouldn't recommend this for beginners, but once you get the hang of it, Colorama Halo is quite pleasant to stitch with. My final granny square is soft, it's squishy, and quite pretty, but it's just not enough to sway me. Colorama Halo is getting 4 out of 10 hooks. It's a little too slippery, it has poor stitch definition, and the bulky weight novelty yarn like this can only go so far. I've got a feeling that this would sit in my stash for a very long time. Now, to use it up, I'd hold 2 strands together to make my fireside basket. This yarn makes sense for the holidays, and an oversized fuzzy basket would be super cute next to my Christmas tree. Last but certainly not least, we have Big Twist Living. This time around, we have a Category 4 worsted weight 100% anti-pilling yarn. You get 99 yards in a 110 gram skein, though the strand does look a little bit thin for a worsted weight. The skeins are normally $6.49 each, ouch, but they are currently on sale for $4.87. The palette includes 14 solid shades as well as 10 stripes, several of which seem to draw inspiration from various pride flags, but more on that later. The yarn has a 4-ply construction with a medium twist and feels pretty darn soft in the skein. Speaking of softness, Living gives me those early Big Twist vibes. Do you remember when JOANN first debuted that yarn? It was the kind of acrylic that we thought was going to disrupt the craft industry and raise the standard for acrylics far and wide. It was soft, it was vibrant, and it came in amazing colors at an incredibly reasonable price. Now we only get that kind of softness in their specialty brands, which feels like a bit of a letdown. On another note, is it weird for a yarn to feel less soft when you start stitching with it? Living was throwing me for a loop during this linen stitch. It likely doesn't help that I was trying out a new hook from Collage on a new to me yarn, but I did get the hang of it eventually. These hooks did help me realize that this yarn does not split at all. Acrylic has the tendency to stick to itself in the strand, so at least I know that anything we make from this yarn is going to be durable. Like anyone else shopping for yarn online, I went right to the reviews for Big Twist Living, and they were not nice. One customer said that they made a project and laundered it as suggested on the label, and the piece came out so fuzzy that it was unusable. Another customer said that the colors within the same dye lot didn't match each other. But the review that really set my teeth on edge was a complaint about the pride flag colors not being in order. You can see from the available options that they have colorways reminiscent of the lesbian flag, trans flag, rainbow pride flag, and others. But the effort is moot when the colors are so out of order that they don't live up to their potential. For a yarn with so much opportunity, Big Twist Living dropped the ball several times, so I'm going to have to give it 4 out of 10 hooks as well. There are many quality acrylics on the market, and this one just feels like it's taking up space. If you find yourself with a surplus of Big Twist Living, use it up with my Mesa hat and scarf pattern. Snag the striped color of your choice and a coordinating solid and make some hats and scarves for charity. Well, this visit to JOANN was a bit of a bust, but it does remind me why I usually stray away from novelty yarns. One or two features of the yarn are off and I just want to throw the whole thing away. But that's only the opinion of one yarn snob, and of course I want to hear what you have to say, so drop down in the comments and let me know which of these yarns you would try and which you would have left on the shelf. And you can also let me know what you want to see in future videos. I always love reading your suggestions. Please like this video and consider subscribing to my channel. I can see that you guys have really upped the engagement lately. More likes, more follows, more shares, and it means the world to me. Please keep it up. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.